Hello, hello, long time no see. Today we have a couple items we're going to discuss today. If you saw my community post, you've known that I've been really busy at work, so I was going to have to make a long form video with all the new makeup items that I've tried these basically past week and a half. So I have 5 items to review today. Feel free to kind of scroll forward to the item you're most interested in. But otherwise, I'm going to be talking about these 5 items that I have here today. I'm going to rank them from the item I liked the least to the item that I liked the most. I really hope you guys don't mind this little current long-form content while I'm doing my actual job as an accountant. But here we go. These are the 5 items we're going to be discussing today. Alright, my least favorite product from this past week and a half that I've been on my kind of like little hiatus per se, I tried the Blushed Rose palette by Juvia's Place, and unfortunately I think this one ranks at the bottom for me. I was able to get this past November for the Black Friday sale, so I was able to get this for $5. I think this palette makes sense at the $5 mark. I know it probably goes for more, maybe like $12 or $14. I think these 6-pan palettes are probably better on sale if you're thinking about getting these 6-pan palettes still. It looks exactly like it does there. This is the front, we have the back here, and then it has the shades are just numbered, they're not named, and it has the ingredients in the background. I'm not going to swatch all these. These are more of a quick run through, so I'm not going to really give these as much attention as I maybe would have to my specific reviews, but I'm going to try and do my best to give you the important information on these. So this is the Juvia's Place palette, the Blush Rose. I like it because it doesn't have a mirror in here, so I feel like it keeps the cost down. I think it has a really cute girly pink color story in here. My issue and why this is at the bottom is because the shimmers in here, they're okay. They're a little bit more on the drier end. That's not too much of a problem. That's okay, but they are a little bit drier. The main thing for me was the mattes. The mattes, while very pretty themselves, if I tried to... Basically, when I tried to do my makeup looks, I was getting a very muddled mess. These shades were very... I don't know. They didn't really blend as they should have. It's hard to explain because the formula itself of the mattes in here I did quite like. I think overall I'm okay with the formula of the overall palette, but my issue was trying to blend in these shades, because once I try to blend them in, it's almost like they were all too close in color, even though in the pan they don't even look like the same color at all. But on my skin tone, for whatever reason, when I went to try and do my makeup look, as I usually do from darkest to lightest, these would just kind of sink into each other, and they just became like this muddled mess, and it's kind of hard to describe, but it was just not the look I was going for. I think overall the palette's okay. I think this is a decent palette if you can get it on sale, especially for the $5. Juvia's Place does tend to have sales every couple months, so I don't think it'd be too hard to find this palette at least $5, $6, or $7. But it's okay. It's alright. I'm going to pass this along to maybe someone who likes to wear their makeup a little bit more simple. But yeah, the shimmers were okay. The shimmers were very, you know, quite subtle, almost like they were satins. So this is definitely not the palette for me. I'm going to pass this one along. Right, the next palette that we have is the Wizard of Oz palette by Kylie Cosmetics. I know some of y'all would have loved to see a dedicated video for this, but it is what it is. So this Kylie palette, my husband actually pointed it out to me at TJ Maxx. I got this palette for $19.99. Y'all, I think I went to the website about a week ago when I was using this. I think they're trying to sell this for, or it's sold for like $54, $52 or something crazy like that. I watched a couple reviews about this palette that were made about a year ago to see if people were having similar experiences, and it sounds like nothing has changed, and there's a reason why this ended up at TJ Maxx for $20. Is this worth that $52, $54, $56 retail amount? Absolutely fucking not. No way. If you're interested in this palette and you see it at the TJ Maxx for $20, okay. I actually struggled. I didn't know if I wanted to keep this palette or not. It's a really cute palette. I had some interesting looks with it, but I didn't know if I wanted to keep it or not, because I'm like, oh, am I gonna reach for this? Is this a palette I'm gonna think about when I need to do certain looks? I don't know. I love the actual packaging. I love these. They must be poppies, right? They look like poppies. I love poppies. California's flowers, a poppy, the California poppy. You have her right here, just sleeping Dorothy, and then you have, I like that they show you what the color story and the inside looks. Thankfully for me, this, I don't think, yeah, this was untouched. It's completely untouched, even though it's from TJ Maxx. I love the little detail of the cute little, look at Toto, he's in the back, he's so cute. He's in the back of the packaging. It's super adorable. I love that little detail. And it's not just his head, it's his whole body, y'all. His whole body's in there. So that's really cute. For $20, is this worth $20? I think what you're buying is the brand, honestly, because the shadows aren't all the way there. So I think for $20, what you really are buying is the name of the brand. It's so everyone can see that you have a Kylie palette. When I was using this, I thought to myself, this feels like a diet eyeshadow palette. That is the best way I could describe it to you. This feels like a diet eyeshadow palette. As you can see there, there's the whole group right there, all four. The famous, it's of course the originals are right there. That's not Kylie dressed up. That really is the original Dorothy. And there's a mirror there. And this is what the palette looks like. I really like how colorful and playful it is. I like the names in here. But overall, I'm not going to keep it. Okay, let's talk about, of course, the negatives first. This eyeshadow right here, whack. Whack as hell. I don't even know why this is in here as an eyeshadow. It is so, it's not good. It doesn't really show up as, I'm sorry, a highlighter. This is supposed to be a highlighter. No way. This is so weak. It's very white casting. So you'll put it on your cheeks and it looks like you just have like white eyeshadow on your cheeks. Not good. This blush that they have here, so they have a huge highlighter and a big blush here in this palette. It's kind of like a face palette. So you got your highlighter, your blush, your eyeshadows. This blush here is basically like, first of all, they're going to have to assume that this shade fits you. But this is like the kind of pink that is in every makeup eyeshadow face palette that they just assume fits your skin tone and will fit you. It's just that basic ass color. So this color may or may not fit you. I didn't have any problem with this color on my skin tone or using the blush, but it was something to think about that they had chosen this shade, which is just, I guess maybe it's a universal shade, I don't know, but it's definitely giving like that Big Lots pink color that is in those like huge makeup palettes. I decided to wear these eyeshadows just in the quads that they're already in. So I wore this quad last, and I like the mattes in here. I think the mattes are pretty nice, but I think that this last look here kind of was the nail in the coffin, where I'm like, okay, these browns are good, but they're nothing special. This Tin Man shade right here that you would hope would be, as Teresa's Dead always says, the Tin Man dick kind of shade that you hope is like super intense, really wasn't. Like I said, this palette is kind of like a diet eye palette. It's very subtle, it's sheer, it's kind of sheen, it's very soft. Kylie's very good at that because that is the kind of makeup she wears, so I feel like that makes sense. But even though there's a lot of color in this palette really is for someone who wants softer shades but still wants the color. Best colors in here were probably, ooh, I thought this one was fun. This Dorothy color up here, because you could actually see the sparkle in the eyeshadow when I wore it on my eye. That's kind of rare. You don't really get to see the sparkle a lot in eyeshadows once applied to the eye, and it definitely still had the sparkle there. I think that the best shimmer in this palette was this quad over here. Initially, this was the first quad that I used, and I absolutely hated it. I'm like, I'm gonna hate this palette, it's so ugly. And then I came back to the mirror a couple hours later, and I was like, you know what? This is pretty cute. This is actually pretty cute. I kind of took it back. It was cute. This right here lasted the whole day. I don't know why it was just this quad, because these other two quads lasted pretty standard 5 to 8 hours. This quad over here, I had like no creasing, and it didn't really disappear. And the best shimmer shade in here is this, it's called Glinda the Good Witch. It's very chunky. There's a lot of fallout. It falls out. It is very chunky, but thankfully I found some other people reviewing this palette who were saying this, let's put it over here, this is what should have been the highlight. Are you kidding me? So it is kind of like, maybe not applies the best, but look at, this is supposed to be the highlight in this palette. And then look at this. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a pink kind of sheen to this eyeshadow. It's very pretty, and I think that this is the shade that kind of made me wonder if I should keep this palette. I would love if the shades were just, especially the shimmers, if the shimmers in this were a bit better, but I don't want to say this is an absolute bust, because I do think that maybe this palette is for someone. Like I said, this is a dyed eyeshadow palette. The colors are a little bit, they're there, but they're not exactly like in your face super bright. But I think they're definitely, you know, pretty decent colors. Like if you do Wicked Witch over here, I don't think they're lacking in pigment necessarily. They're just a little bit more toned down, and if you're a person who wants to try colors and is experimenting with colors, I think this might be a good palette for you. You know what I mean? Like, I really like, is it mean if I call it kind of almost like a makeup revolution kind of thing? Because like I said, for $20 you're really just buying the Kylie brand, but it's not, it could be worse. It could be worse. I think I'm gonna have to pass this along because I don't reach for subtle, sheer, soft makeup very often, and if I do, I would like to think I already have palettes for this. There's nothing in here specifically in terms of single shades where I'm like, I absolutely have to have this color, even though I love this shade over here. So I'm gonna have to pass this one along. This one's also gonna get passed on along, but I think if this is up your alley and you find it at your local, you know, I was about to say Mervyn's, good God, your TJ Maxx or your Ross or something like that, and you're interested, it might not be too bad of a buy, but I'm passing this one along for me. Alright, this is a highlighter palette. This is the Radiance highlighter palette. This is from Amuse. Now correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe some of you know this and some of you don't, but was there not an Amuse store at our malls growing up? Like, is that just me? It was kind of almost like an adult Claire's. It's kind of what I remember it. Or I think this brand was also in like the Icy stores. There's like an Icy jewelry or something. Like, I feel like I remember seeing this brand Amuse at the mall. Let me know down below. But I pretty much got this palette because of this name. This name looks so familiar, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this was a store in the malls in California growing up, so I had to grab it. It doesn't have the price on it anymore, but I ended up finding this at my local TJ Maxx. It was $3.99, so it was very affordable. It says Kilonova on the back, so I don't know if that's like the name of this specific color range, but on the back it does say Amuse Radiance Highlighter. I don't know if this is the Kilonova palette perhaps, but it has the ingredients on the back and all that, and I'm gonna have to give this away just because I don't reach for it as much as I would like to have reached for it. I think I'm going to pass this on to my MUA cousin, because she probably, oh, you know, she's always going to need makeup, that's her job. I think that the shades in here, I tried it again. As you can see, I've just been dipping my fingers into, like, the corners, trying to see if I like it. I've worn it a couple times. I think this is, for my skin tone, a little bit more white leaning. Let's see if I can even get it to... It's like a little bit, that one's probably the best swatch, dear. They're like a little metallic, but not enough for what I want it for. My cousin does a lot of, like, she's in her early 20s, and so she gets a lot of young girls in her town where she lives in Mexico that comes and gets their makeup done for, like, their quinceañeras and stuff, which is like a debutante ball. So it's a lot of other younger 20-year-olds and teenagers coming to her. And since this is light enough, I think this might be better suited for her her audience and who she does makeup for. I think I'm going to pass this on to her, but I don't necessarily think this is a bad palette. I'm sorry, I just really love my Ofra. And I've had this in my, I guess my everyday box for a while now. And like, if you see this, I do recommend picking it up. I do really like this brand. This is a brand that I grew up with. I just have to pass this along because I don't think I'm getting any use out of it as much as I should be. But I think it's alright. It's cute. Just got a little cute moment. It's enough highlighter for some people, but I like the Kablow highlighter, okay? So I'm passing this one on along as well, but if you're interested and you see it, I would trust this brand. I like this brand. This is a brand I grew up with, so I trust them. Alright, this is the Hypernova palette by Drizzle. It says it's an eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette. There is the ingredients there on the back. Very simple packaging. It's just kind of giving spacey. And I went back and forth on this. I didn't know if I wanted to keep it or not. Oh, it was tough. But it looks exactly as it does on the box. So if you wanted to, you could throw the box away. And I'm gonna have to pass this one along. It kind of hurts my heart. And I was really surprised with the formula in here, but let's open it up. There is a mirror in there, so the mirror is in there. We can cover that up. I think I didn't know what to really make of this color story the first time that I saw it. I thought it was very interesting looking, but essentially for this, like a lot of my palettes, I just simplify it. And I did looks according to the little quads that are kind of already set up. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I think that the shimmers in here are maybe a little drier than they typically are. But regardless, I don't think this impacted my use of the palette. I was honestly quite surprised with it. I think the mattes in here, from what I remember, were really good. Let's swatch this green one in particular, because every time I see a green like this, I'm just reminded of the green shade from that, what was it called? That Strange and Unusual palette. And it's got enough pigment in there. I think it was really fun. It's very alien neon green. I really liked this brown over here as well. That was really pretty to use. And it actually did show up on my skin, on my eyes. So that was really nice as well. I didn't really have too much of an issue with anything in this palette. I think the looks were really cute. I really loved this Interstellar shade right here. It's really pretty. Ooh, look at that purple. I really like the vibes. It really does give kind of otherworldly, like kind of alien, but also you have browns in here, which I think kind of still makes it very wearable. You got these, like, if I could describe it as so, like a neon orange, a neon green, this neon purple over here. You got this kind of duochrome purple with blue iridescent. And you have like this hot pink over here that's also really pretty. But I absolutely recommend this palette. I really do like this palette. I think for me, I'm going to have to pass it along because I was trying to think of, don't I already have palettes that kind of have the blue and green color story? Because I feel like I do. And while I absolutely had a lot of fun with this palette and I really liked the formula in here, I was quite surprised by the formula. I had to be real with myself and think about, is this really a palette that I could take to like travel? And I don't think this is a really good traveling palette. I think you do brown looks, green looks, purple, pink looks maybe. But even though the color story is really fun, I don't know if I could see myself specifically thinking about a look and needing to do a look and grabbing this palette. So I had a lot of fun. I do recommend it. I do like the formula. I don't remember having any issues with this. So there's that. And then in terms of pricing, I believe I got this palette on sale. I don't even know if it's available anymore. I think Drizzle had been trying to get rid of this palette, but I was able to get this palette for $16. That's $16 on sale. I think you might have to buy this from a reseller now, but so far of what I've tried from the Drizzle brand in terms of eyeshadows, I have quite liked. I haven't really been let down yet, so this is a brand that I'm coming to really trust. Alright, so this is the final item. This was my favorite item that I've tried this past week. If you saw my colored Raine unboxing, you would have seen this palette in there. And what's funny about this palette is that I actually threw this palette in kind of last minute because I didn't want to pay the shipping. And I was like, I'd rather pay to add another item to my cart than to pay, you know, the $14 shipping or whatever it was. So I was just adding this palette to my cart just so I didn't have to pay shipping. So this palette I originally didn't even want, okay? And yet somehow I'm like, this is the one that I'm keeping. So again, this is from Colored Raine. On the back it looks exactly as it is. It's got the ingredients on and stuff and all that. I got this palette for like $5.10 or something. It was on sale. So this is an item I got on sale for $5.10. it reminds me of kind of like the Juvia's Place. It's kind of giving me Juvia's Place vibes because it has big 6-pan kind of products in here. But this one does have a mirror. It does have a mirror in there if you would like that. As you saw, this is a slip-on. Oh no, it broke! When did it break? Oh no. Okay, hold on. Oh god. I have no idea when this happened, but my product has broken. Oh, that sucks. What the heck? I must have dropped it or something, because... Oh, that's sad. So let's... Since I already have it here in my hand, let me just kind of do that. Maybe now that it's here, we can use it to do a bit of a swatch, because the mattes in here are very good. Oh god, where should I put this? I don't even know where. I'm losing space on my arm. Oh god, that is pigmented. Oh my goodness. Okay, well you can see here how lovely and pigmented it is. It is very nice and pigmented. Wow. Okay. I think I'm gonna start over here now. But yeah, I guess there's an example right there. But oh man, that sucks. But I am keeping this one. I do like it. I think it's gorge. I took this with me to Washington for a graduation. I got 2 looks out of it, and that's exactly what I needed. The mattes in here are, as you can see, super pigmented. Just, they were very easy to use, very blendable. I got, what's it called? I got compliments on the day of the graduation. I think the shimmers in here are gorge and easy to use. This is amazing. Like, look at the shimmers. The shimmers in here are beautiful. It's a white with kind of like a gold. And then we have like a lime green with gold as well. Look at that. Hope you guys can see it. I can see the reflection. There's like a reflective kind of thing going on right here. But the shimmers in here are beautiful. They're gorge. I really like this shade right here. This cat. But they have such funny names. I don't know if anyone ever noticed when I originally pulled this out, but they have such funny names because I really love this Cash Me Outside shade. It's like a chartreuse green. It's so pretty. This one that broke was stock paper scissors. And it's just, it wears exactly the way that I like to wear my makeup, from lightest to darkest. We have 2 light shimmers, 2 darker greens, a light green, and a kind of a more medium green. This is perfect. This is a perfect palette. I love to travel with it. I think I'm really impressed with the colored Raine formula. I think this is the first, no, this is the second. This is the second colored Raine palette that I've used. And I think I prefer this one over the Queen Bee palette, which I also have already reviewed. I reviewed the Queen Bee collection. I think this palette's better than the Queen Bee palette. That's just my review on that, and I definitely recommend this. I had a lot of fun with this one. Thank you so much for watching my review today of all these products. I hope I did enough swatching for y'all. If you have any further questions about any of these palettes, I'll be happily able to answer down below in the comments. I'm sorry I don't have a dedicated video for this week, but I hope that the review of these 5 palettes will help y'all and keep y'all interested in my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this video today. Give some feedback down below. You'll have a great day.